Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. The breaking news this evening, Brett Kavanaugh will be given his vote this Friday, September 28th, to see if he's the Supreme Court Justice to replace Anthony Kennedy. And I want to show you what's so interesting about this vote coming on this date. So, Brett Kavanaugh, born February 12th, 1965. He's 53 years old. From his birthday to the vote will be 228 days since his birthday. Special number, United States of America, using the alphabetic order, sums to 228. You could also say it's his 229th day of his age. It's 228 days after his birthday, or it's his 229th day of his age. 229 is the 50th prime, and using the alphabetic order, America sums to 50, like the 50 states. The name Donald, also with the alphabetic order, 50. And of course, he's the justice nominated by Donald Trump. From Trump's birthday to September 28th is 106 days later, or his 107th day of his age. With regards to 106, authority sums to 106 with the reverse alphabetic order. With the regular alphabetic order, authority sums to 137, and we're going to get to that number too. With regards to 107, that's the 28th prime number. It's also 3 months and 14 days after Trump's birthday, September 28th, 3 months, 14 days, kind of like 3.14, like pi. The word circle with the alphabetic orders also sums to 50. Think about how year after year the same repetitive processes take place. And if you haven't read my book, I show the very special tribute to pi within the English language. Mind-blowing stuff what's encoded in English. And a lot of it does have to do with the pi and circle and cycles and time. Speaking of time, they're going to have this vote at 9:30 a.m. And what do we know about 93 in time? They say the sun is 93 million miles away, what dictates time on this earth. They also say that Saturn, to the occult, is the keeper of time, and Saturn's the only planet with Gematria of 93, using the alphabetic order. So a 9:30 vote. Something else about September 28th is it's the day leaving 94 days left in the year. Remember, 94, when you write it out, it sums to 147. Senate Judiciary Committee sums to 147. If you write out U.S. President, it sums to 147. If you write out President of the United States, it sums to 147. 147 windows on the White House. The pick by the president. Also, with regards to the vote being at 9:30, remember, the word time has Gematria 47 with the alphabetic order, just like the word judge with the alphabetic order equals 47. Good time to vote on a judge, 9:30. So, the day before the vote will be the hearing involving Mrs. Ford and Kavanaugh, and we've covered this in great detail. The significance of it falling on the Jesuit order's birthday, September 27th, where this year it's also a date with 54 numerology. 9 plus 27 plus 18, 54. Jesuit order equals 54. Kavanaugh went to the Jesuit prep school, Georgetown Prep. It got me thinking, how many days is it from that day to his upcoming 54th birthday? And would you believe it? From the Jesuit order ritual hearing, hymn verse, Blasey Ford, from that day to his 54th birthday on February 12th is 138 days later. Federal equals 138. Donald Trump also equals 138. You could say it's a span of 139 days. Freemasonry equals 139. America, 139. America's 139 when you flip the alphabetic order around. That also means that from September 28th to his birthday is 137 days later. The 33rd prime. Kennedy equals 33. Federal 33. Masonry 33. Secrecy 33. Order 33. He'd be replacing Anthony Kennedy. And notice, Washington, D.C., 137. Government, 137. Authority, 137. White House, 137. I should have put morals and dogma up there. Morals and dogma equals 137. The Freemason text, which says Freemasonry owes all thanks to Kabbalah, written by Albert Pike, which has a statue in Washington, D.C. 137, the 33rd prime. Kabbalah in Hebrew sums to 137. And that's what all of this is, Kabbalah. Kabbalah has that core belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. This is the powers that shouldn't be, the Cabal, operating by the Kabbalah Code, doing everything in D.C., the Kabbalah capital of the United States of America, by the numbers. Also, this is sort of cheating. If you write out September 28th, more appropriate way to say that is September 28th. But I did notice that September 28th sums to 97 like Supreme. Like how Kavanaugh was nominated on July 9th, the date that can be written 9/7 like 97. Also like how Neil McGill Gorsuch, the last Supreme Court justice sworn in, he was sworn in on April 7th, 4/7 like 47, like judge like gavel, like obey, like authority, like government, like D.C., like president, like White House, like Republican, like Democrat. 47, the biggest number in D.C. But April 7th is also the 97th day of the year. Kavanaugh, his hearings, before all these scandals broke out, they concluded on September 7th. They began September 4th, a date that can be written 9/4. They concluded September 7th, 9/7. But don't forget, 97's the 25th prime, judge and gavel, also Gematria 25. Judge and gavel, perfect overlap, and all four base ciphers. Neil McGill Gorsuch, and the name Trump, they both sum to 88 as well. Very ritualistic processes for both judges so far, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, and every Supreme Court justice that came before them. But this Kavanaugh one, it has a little bit extra drama with all of the accusations, all part of the puppet show by the numbers. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Learn the code, see through the rituals. Until next time. Encore. I should also point out that on this same date, September 25th, 2018, Donald Trump was speaking at the United Nations today, acting as if he was the authority of the world. He was condemning nations such as Iran for doing things that we do. And what I was thinking of is Donald Trump's 72 years old. Today had 72 numerology as well as 52 date numerology. And 72 and 52 come together through this Kabbalah teaching right here. The 72 names of God, a riddle from Exodus in the Hebrew Bibles. And I just want you to see this. The three consecutive verses from Exodus 14, 19 through 21, each contain 72 letters, an obviously rare phenomenon. The letters of these three verses can be arranged as 72 triplets of letters, but we are taught in Kabbalah that if we reverse the order of the letters in the middle set, the 72 triplets become 72 names of God. And I'll link this post down below. You can read all this information and the additional information. But here's the thing. Again, Trump's 72 years old. Today has 72 date numerology, 9 plus 25 plus 20 plus 18. Today also has 52 numerology if you just do 9 plus 25 plus 18. Notice up here how they emphasize names, the 72 names of God. And that's a Jewish custom there to not use the O. It's Said to be disrespectful to write the name God, so it's better to write G-D. 7-4. 7-4 like 74, like how Jewish equals 74 in Gematria. Anyway, notice the emphasis on names. Names equals 52. So does Kabbalah, so does the Cabal, so does Tree of Life. That's the physical model for Kabbalah. The Jewish name for the Tree of Life is the Etz HaChaim, which also equals 52. Gematria, which comes from Kabbalah, equals 52. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Kabbalah has the core belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. For some more 52, government equals 52, authority 52, president 52, White House 52, NWO, like New World Order 52. Today's the 25th, the reflection of 52. Trump 25, Exodus 25, where the 72 names of God come from. Reminds me that Donald Trump, 52 years before being selected for president, in 1964, he went to Fordham University. Fordham, the Jesuit school. Jesuit order also has that gematria of 72. Look at Exodus and Jewish in the 4-base ciphers. Exodus, 88. Jewish, 74. Jewish, 29. Exodus 25, like we talked about, has one S in it. When there's an S in a word, you can add plus 9 more, because S is the 19th letter. 19 breaks down to 1 plus 9 is 10, and then 10 breaks down to 1 plus 0 is 1. S, the only letter you have to break down 2 times. In this form, it's broken down to 1. If you make S 10, it's plus 9 more. Exodus is 34, which would also match with Jewish. But notice Trump is also 88 too. The man who's had all of his children marry into Jewish families, who was in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day wearing his little skull cap. Think about it. And with regards to the 72 names of God, the Jewish word for God is Elohim, which in Hebrew sums to 47. That name Trump also has gematria 47. Israel recognized as a nation by the United Nations in 1947. Understanding that everything Trump does is scripted by this code, you can realize that him talking as if he's God at the United Nations today is not an accident. You know, the United Nations is completely controlled by Masonry and Zionism, and Donald Trump is their puppet. You know, undeniably so. This whole QAnonymous movement is just, it's so funny to think that they believe he's the opposition to the New World Order. You know, puppet for Israel, condemning all the nations of the world that every U.S. leader before him for decades has condemned. I mean, he's no different than anything that's been in the White House. I don't know how anyone can think he's opposition. His presidential administration is made up of a bunch of Washington insiders. You know, he wants to build a wall. That's right-wing radio for the past 30 plus years. It's just, it boggles my mind how so many people think Donald Trump is anything more than a puppet. I've been proving very clearly that the New World Order media for decades foreshadowed him winning the 58th U.S. presidential election like he did. You know, if you have not read my book, you can have no doubts that Donald Trump is a New World Order puppet. Definitely not the opposition to the New World Order. So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.